Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, President Donald Trump has finally done it. He has issued a bombshell announcement that has the radical left scrambling. But before we get into the story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, President Donald Trump is looking to take action in the aftermath of the brutal Charlie Kirk assassination. There have been a number of disturbing videos of left-wing extremists online threatening Americans, turning up the hyperbole, engaging in incendiary rhetoric, and celebrating the death of a peaceful, law-abiding person, Charlie Kirk, whose only crime appears to be disagreeing with the radical left. Well, President Trump has gone on the record now and says, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. Well, this is a very welcome announcement, and I think this will give law enforcement many more tools at their disposal and DOJ prosecutors the means to hold people accountable for their violent and extreme actions. So, in addition, there is some talk about the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and encouragement of him to cut ties between U.S. domestic Antifa and the Antifa networks overseas, such as in Germany and in France. And Antifa expert Andy Ngo put out a statement. He said, American Antifa are almost an entirely domestic network, but they do maintain links with Antifa in Canada and Europe. So he says Rubio should consider declaring the international manifestations of them also terrorist networks. He points out that in 2021, German Antifa took over Leipzig's city center and carried out mass attacks on the public to try to intimidate judges and prosecutors, handling a criminal case involving their violent members. And they do the same in France and other countries, he points out. So I want to add that there are a number of examples just this year that give some legitimacy to Donald Trump declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. Some of these include May 2025, Seattle, Washington, at Cal Anderson Park. Antifa-linked counter-protesters infiltrated a rally, and 23 arrests were made after clashing with police and so-called right-wing groups. In June 2025 in Portland, Oregon, at ICE facility, Antifa rioters breached the building with explosives and rocks, injuring 4 officers, described as terrorism by local reports. And then in September 2025, Portland, Oregon, ongoing Antifa attacks on ICE using dumpsters as battering rams. And there were pepper balls, and these types of clashes have been ongoing with Antifa, which appears to be pretty strong on the West Coast in particular. Seattle, Portland, and unfortunately what we saw is Utah, where at Utah Valley State there was a brutal political assassination of Charlie Kirk for the apparent crime of disagreeing with radical leftists on a college campus. And the presumed and alleged perpetrator of this heinous atrocity, Tyler Robinson, wrote Antifa-linked messages on his bullet casings. There is a lot of documented evidence in the charging documents about his radical extremism. So Antifa, if they're not a violent organization, they have nothing to worry about. But if they're engaging in sort of extremist action that puts Americans' lives at risk, the DOJ has more tools at their disposal to investigate and to charge alleged crimes. So if you have any comments of your own, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support.